Well, hello there. It's the 16th of July 2020, and here you are with Dan in Essex, UK. So, I'm a very keen grower of fruit and vegetables and a very keen grower of grapes indeed. So, I've got a playlist on grapes. You can check that one out if you're interested. I'm going to link some videos down below and also leave some videos on the screen at the end that you can indeed click on if you want. So, you can grow grapes very well here in the UK. They absolutely thrive here in the southeast. And if you check out the playlist, one of them videos there is of a vine I refer to as a monster vine, which used to produce just masses of grapes every year. So there we go. Now, okay, so what we got here? This is variety Autumn Royal. There you go. Starting to ripen really lovely now, and we're still in July. If you're going to grow Autumn Royal, it's generally recommended you grow it in an unheated polytunnel or greenhouse because they benefit from a longer growing season. It is indeed a Californian variety, so one would expect a longer growing season in California. So we need to give the vine as much as close to this as we can indeed do. So an unheated polytunnel or greenhouse is the way forward. It needs to be unheated because they require a period of cold during the winter months. So there we go, really lovely indeed. Looking really well. Absolutely so many bunches of grapes there. You can just see how many there are coming on here. Really happy with how they're coming on. So there we go. And just here as well, look at those. Right, okay, this is Lakemont Seedless. This is a vine I took from a cutting a few years ago. Really lovely. Look at those bunches of grapes. They're really good. Now, grapes fruit off of canes which grow off the previous year's growth, okay? So if you take a look at that, look, that's the previous year's growth. It's darker, and this is the new cane that's come off of that, and there's your fruit, okay? So that's how they grow. Now, one question I often get asked with regards to grape growing is how quickly will my vines yield fruit? Now, this is an interesting one. So, as I stated before, grapes fruit off of growth, off of shoots rather, canes, which come from the previous year's growth. So what you've got to do is get as much growth as you can as quick as possible, okay? So one way of doing this is to utilise microclimates such as polytunnels, greenhouses, south-facing walls or fences for the extra warmth. Really get your vine to grow, okay? And then you'll have more growth there, and then the canes can grow off of that and your fruit will come. Okay, so that's one way that you can achieve quicker yields. Okay, so this is Lakemont Seedless as well. Lakemont Seedless is a US variety, okay? This is a grafted vine that I purchased, okay? So it's got some absolutely lovely little bunches on here, so that's going to be great when they fruit. Okay, so this is my little area I've got, and I'm going to have an exotic fruit growing area. So this is variety Muller Thurgau down here. You can see I've got it growing in amongst the runner beans at the moment. Here, this is variety Rhea. This is variety Suffolk Red. This one in the pot, we'll talk more about growing grapes in pots in a moment. This is a cutting of Lakemont Seedless that I took. And this one here is Venus. Okay, so some people say, well, I've got a small garden, I can't have a grapevine. Well, indeed you can. You can grow them in containers and pots, okay? That video will be linked down below, you can check that one out. But in a nutshell, okay, to grow grapes in containers and pots, you want to go for a wooden pot because they like to have cool roots. You want to work up over a period of 2 or 3 years to about a probably about a 60 litre pot, okay? Water 2 or 3 times a week, more in dry periods. Growing medium has got to be well draining. Feed it maybe every 2 weeks with a general purpose feed and put it up against a south facing wall or fence for the extra warmth. There we go. It's quite amazing that your grapes can actually thrive in containers and pots. So down here we have a variety Rhea. And across here I have Riesling for when Dan the connoisseur emerges. So one question I often get asked is, I live in a less than ideal climate for growing grapes. Maybe here in the UK you live in the Midlands or somewhere like that, or in Scotland. So the general advice, if you live in a place with a shorter and cooler growing season, is to go for a green grape as opposed to a purple or a black one, okay? And really get used to your microclimates. You know, no matter what part of the UK you're growing your grapes in, though, you want to have them up against a south-facing wall or fence, if indeed you can, because they really do appreciate that. So there you go. Grapes can be grown here in the UK. Check out my playlist, and I hope everybody out there is doing well. See you next time.